to listen to my part. I will speak the topic of effective transit midpoint to the ladies' personal midpoint, and to give the easier views for the news or more practical form of views to prediction. I presented, try to make it easier for to create the predictive graph. So, in the form of graph, we can predict, in this case for the events, by seeing the trends and turning points, using the midpoint of the transits that influence to the personal midpoints of the ladies. The term that I use A/BT means the transit midpoints. Yeah, and P1 and P/P2R, I call it the ladies' personal midpoint. P1 and P2 is mean personal point. And this research, I assume that there is a prediction such as solar arc directions and the secondary progression and so on, all well investigated beforehand. So we focus on A/B equal C/D mathematically. This means by calculation, I use the sum form A plus B equals C plus D. It's the Stanford form. The sum form is truly equal by historicals and mathematicals. When the sum form is used to calculation, it implies that only the conjunction aspect is used. So the equal amount of switch from different to get the receiving station. The key assumption is that personal points, as we prove it, is the strong indication to point out how important and how close any factor may influence to the native, or if we use these methods, points of the personal points can be calculated. That I call it in short that P1 and P2 by combination of 8 points. Next assumption that I use for the 22 Uranian point, including 80 point as the standard, is come to 231 midpoint, and in the single point can be 254 points. In this research, I include Chiron series asteroid, the 4 big asteroids, and Bangkok, another transit June, for the total of 30 single points. So all these points come to 465 points in total. The effect of each single point can be classified as, it's very simple from the ancient knowledge. I get the idea of that. We can classify it as good or bad. This was simple words I use, but we can use the sophisticated words in other form also, but I will call it good, bad, and neutral. In neutral include the personal point too. So the summarized table, which each of the planet or factor, I classify it like this. For the whole personal points, I am not giving it to any good or bad. For example, yes, theory, Jupiter is good, for example, and Saturn is the king of judgment in the programming that I experience. I adjust some, but actually, as we know, Jupiter/Saturn may not be bad actually, but for the research level, I have to put or make decision how it's bad or good or neutral. So that's my personal judgment. So my assumption, the main idea is when we try to predict anything, we all astrologer, most of astrologer try to select just some way. Some people may use the solar arcs as the trend. Some people will use the solar return and a lot of methodology to select which one is effective or not effective. But I jump to the another side. I think all this point could influencing to any target because the star, the planets over us, they don't think they will radiate to just some area. So I use it all to evaluate midpoint without discrimination by selecting only some midpoint. This is really common sense, but a lot of midpoint cool how we evaluate and make it the views that can predict. This research will offer some results from my experience. So the summary formula for this research comes to this: A/B transit equal to P1/P2R. It means the midpoint of the transits that influence to the latest personal midpoint. But by actual calculation, I use the sum because by calculation we notice to divide by 2 to get the real value. And I can prove for some people that not familiar to the sum form that these two formula is the same. For the examples, the Sun/Neptune equal to Moon/vertex. This lattice is the stock market of Thailand. Stock market exchange of Thailand, we call it SET. This one is one of my example. And it's come to the fast moving points such as meridian, ascendants, moons, Mercury, and or even or the Venus. I don't use it. But in my program for research, actually I make it the option. But I know I observe it that its influence is not so strong to my scope or target. I want to predict a few days, and my target is not about the specific day. If you know just a few days or 4 or 5 days, it's really wonderful already to predict things. So I count the A/B transit point that equal to P1/P2, the latest point, on each single day for the target period. Most of example I will show today is 1 month, but we can use it for 2 or quarter or annually. And what we call is we convert to the numerical form. and become the graph. This is raw data. For example, the 1985 October, some people we know about was I will talk the back Monday for the stock market. So I use the Lattice as the set stock market of Thailand and use this Black Monday, and I calculate thousands of midpoints each single day and get the, for example, Sun/Saturn. Sun/Saturn times mass. If the formula is Newton, I put it the counting in the zero column, and if it's positive, I put it in this plus column, and I calculate some accumulate data and the percentage of how much of good or bad for each day. And actually the background calculation include a lot. But the computer can do, I cannot. And the predictive graph come like this. So some may know already the Black Monday is around here. So the stock exchange of Thailand go down too for this period. Each line have its own the meaning. For example, the blue line is altogether of good and bad effects. In the form of the stock market, with some kind of volume. And the green is mean good, it's like the traffic size. Red is mean bad. And yellow is some kind of warning, good minus bad. Accumulate good minus bad is another view, as the accounting people always think about this. I put it to observe something. And percentage of good minus bad is the yellow one. And finally, the last one, the summarize. But the very simple to evaluate this graph is just see the overview of all right. If all right go down, it's bad. If all right up, it's good. And if the volume, the bull ride is very high, so a lot of people come to join that event. In the form of the stock market, it means a lot of buyer and seller in the market. So if a lot of people sold, the good is the graph may affect. But if the graph shows something good or bad, but no people there, it cannot. I call it trend. So we see the trends of the graph go down or go up. And the way to invest in the stock market by using this graph, we must see the turning point. It means when investor not quiet, always invest today and sell tomorrow. If they can buy and sell within a few months or within 1 month, is successful already. Good or bad, see the up and down of the line, each line, and how big, how up or down of the line is show how good or bad. Very simple ways to evaluate. And if the graph is fluctuates, so no need to care about this period because it's like a real life. Every day we feel good, we feel bad, but it's not the key to do anything. with the graph. So this graph will help to predict the predict process will be effective for some people and some periods, not just a specific day. Comparing to the stock market analysis, these methods can be called like a technical analysis part, but actually the astrology have the artificial, that everyone have the bands, have the complicated, sophisticated analysis that equal to the psychological part of the investor in the market, in the stock market. So the machine or computer program cannot do it. And I have the key factors in the table that I will show a sample to help on identify what is the topic of the event, not only good or bad. The first example, as I explained already, is back Monday, 19 October 1987, that the big crash. Dow Jones is down by about 22%, and the stock market of Thailand also down. I use the latest data of stock exchange of Thailand. It was born on 30 April 1975. At that time, it's open at 9 o'clock in the morning, but currently it's open at 10. And the same graph as I explained, this shows really down 10, and the turning point that you can easily see it, and the volume, the blue line, show that a lot of people come to join these activities. I do a lot of events to test my graph and adjust the parameters a lot, and test back to the old example also, and try to keep the graph with the adjustment to comply to a lot of events. So when I adjust, it may comply to the second one, but I have to keep my research also that it still comply to the first one. And come to today, this is the best. The next event that I will show, the stock exchange of Thailand rose to over 1,000 points, the top of ever 14 years, on the 1st of November 2010. This graph, I calculate it for 2 months because it's the mix between 2 months, the 1st of the November, and I see the graph on the 1st of November go up significantly. Next one. The most tool that the investor use is the candlestick chart. So I try to compare my graph with the candlestick chart, how it's compiled together, and I found some significant sample. For this example, it's the same year in November. I have the candlestick chart that the investor use very much at the bottom like this, and my graph go down when the candlesticks show red color. It means it go down too. Yeah, and stop a while, somewhere around here, and this scheme is just a short period that is stopped, and then it go down again, and we can see some trend of the graph like this. So if people will use this graph to invest I will tell them that not care about just some fluctuation up and down. This is some kind of sideways for the stock market. But for the real life, it can be anything, a lot of things. For my friend, she worked as the nurse, and I used her to test because the nurse see a lot of patients every day, and every day have some problem with the operation in the hospital, and I cannot notice that. Someday she may conflict with the patient or the doctor. The graph show the signal very, very good to use the graph. So I always pin the graph for her. Next, I will show the key factors. The PT graph shows some trends and turning points, but I found that the key factor that I select from the raw data can point out the issue, the topic of the event too. For example, as you know, today we cannot, most of people don't wear yellow or red because we have the conflict of some color that the shirt that we wear. Last 2 years we have the political protester. I don't know in English. I call it red layer. And the government this protester on May 2010 is about in the mid of May. So I run the Thailand latest data. We have Bangkok for more than 240 years. So I use that data. And the solar arc go up over than 90 already. But the graph still shows something. As you may see this, the government do as I remember 17 really have the very serious situation there, and the key factor from the raw data show something. I will zoom it out. The key factor come from the raw data by the pair of the planets in the midpoint from the transits that come a lot in the target period. For example, this one on 16th, they have Aries/Sun. The next day, again, Aries/Sun. And the first of Sun/Saturn. And then the next day, on 18th, still Sun/Saturn. It's come 2 days or 3 days. I sort it out from the raw data and call it the key factors and observe it. So these key factors show some bad effects that represent the event. Next one, I try a lot with any kind of events, not just for the purpose of the stock market that we can observe it every day. It's easy for my work, but for the very big, important tsunami on December 26, 2004, I ran it to see, and I surprised the theme of the pink line go down all the way this period, but the events happened on Sunday 26. Not actually on that day, but it have the trend that we can notice. The blue line means good past that. Cho high it means a lot of energy or influences on that period. No one knows, but after the facts, we know it's the influence or the energy of the nature. So it means some energy hidden us a few days before the event, maybe under the world. And this event is the sudden phenomenon, the power that energizes on the day that have a lot of volume. And I zoom it out and see a lot of signals from the key factors: Sun, Saturn again, Sun, Moon, no, Sun, Neptune, yes, the power of water, and the big loss, the power that's really wide, Mars, Apollo. So a lot of midpoint, but this sorting already that show the serious problem from the water and the mass, the earth, sudden events. Server to people. Yeah, that's just an example that to show you that I can prove this. Maybe you are the helpful tools to start some kind of tent, and you go deep to get event, or you check the chart in other form, you may get the results very quick. Thank you for your time.
ขอบคุณคุณสมัครมากนะคะแล้วก็มาถึงเซสชั่นสุดท้ายของวันนี้นะคะก็เป็นเรื่องราวที่น่าสนใจอีกเรื่องหนึ่งคือเรื่องของโหราศาสตร์ในตุรกีและประวัติความเป็นมานะคะโดยเมสลีฮานอายันกรุนะคะ
Okay, this will be the last session for this conference. The title is Astrological Trend in Turkey by Neslihan Ayan.